Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Esteemed Gentleman podcast for Wednesday, May 5th. I'm your host, Scott Labrie. Joined alongside me, as always, we have Uncle Teabag, Tyler Sund.
Hello.
And we have all day Eric DeShane.
Hello, hello.
Knocking over the little dresser thing there.
Careful. Right. It's only got 3 working legs.
One more than I have, actually.
One more than you.
Oh, I totally fucked up. 3 more than I
sucks.
have. 3 more than I have. My God.
Shit.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
I fucked that up.
I knew what you meant, though.
Yeah.
I knew where you were going with it. That's okay.
Yeah.
You get them next time.
I should have said 2 more than I had. Yeah.
We'll get them in the next one, boys.
Get them in the next one, yeah.
Mission failed. We'll get them in the next one.
Today's topic brought to you by Tyler Sund. Tyler, what we're talking about?
We are talking about viewing experiences, gaming experiences that started off great. You were really into it. And then at the end, you're like, what? Really? This is how it ends? Or that's it? Mm-hmm. What is happening? Or it's like, oh, that's a dumb twist. So the inspiration that brought this up for me was I was talking to a good friend and coworker of mine, Mr. Ben. He was saying that, well, he was recommending a show for me to watch and to possibly talk about. There's going to be another one I was going to recommend to you because I know his wife recommended The Serpent to you.
Yep.
And he wanted to recommend to me something that I would really like is a TV show on Amazon called Them. And it's about a black family moving to some kind of suburbia in like the 50s, 40s, 50s. I can't remember what he said. I don't really know the gist of it. I never really watched a trailer for it, but there's something sinister going on. Like obviously there's racism and whatever, but there's also a slight supernatural element to it. And he said it was really fucking like super freaky. The first few episodes really have you like, oh my God, like what is happening? Because it can go in like 80 different directions. Like, because it's like really intriguing. And at the end, he was just kind of like, what? Like, and he said it ended. He said it seemed like the writers were just like, nah, you know what? I'm not into this anymore. Let's just wrap it up.
Yeah.
And it was really upsetting to him.
Really?
And I was like, I feel like I've experienced that on multiple occasions. Considering how many movies and TV shows and video games I've played, there have been some stories that I've come across that at the end you're just like, what the fuck were they thinking with this? So I don't know if you guys have experienced anything that really stands out to you. Like say for like a movie first if you want or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if maybe not quite the same thing that you were talking about when you messaged the group chat. Because I kind of took your question as, like, things that maybe, like, overstayed their welcome, maybe kind of sort of thing.
Yeah, that too, yeah. Like, because that's what he said too. He's like, if it would have ended 2 episodes earlier, it would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, something like that. Yeah, that's something like that even.
Like, because I was watching, The Serpent or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was, like, enjoying, like, the first episode, and, it's always got this mystery and sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, I find, like, a lot of, like, shows have been doing this lately, like, maybe, especially, like, kind of, like, in the crime kind of thing, where it's, like, it finally gets to, the climax of, like, oh, they're gonna get him, and, like, they're going after him now. Mm-hmm. And then it's, like, it leaves on a cliffhanger of, like, them about to go get him. And then the next episode is, like a flashback, like an origin story of like the bad guy, kind of thing. Where it's just like, all right, now we're gonna show you why he's like this. It's like, no, show me that like at the beginning of the series, not when like the plot's like getting good, like
yeah.
And like I find like a lot of shows have been kind of doing that, and then it's like you're just kind of sitting there on your phone a little bit, and then eventually it's like when they finally get back to the plot, it's like, well,
right.
Now I'm kind of bored, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
I find that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Well, one movie that kind of stood out for me, we watched it together, was the one that started off, it was really fucked up, and it was really good, and the effects were really good, and it's like, oh man, Natalie Portman's in this, is going to be really good, was Annihilation.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, this is twisted. This is good. Like, oh my God, there's some freaky ass fucking bear mutant human hybrid shit going on because basically whatever's inside the wither or the frither or the fizzer, whatever the fuck it's called, I can't remember. It just mutates everything together and it kind of like whatever. Mm-hmm. And like even the one scene where they're all tied up in the chairs and that bear thing comes in was probably the most terrifying, fucked up thing I've ever seen. I'm like, man, this movie is fucking awesome. And then at the end, it's like I don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? Some kind of weird polygonal fucking thing.
And like clones her kind
Clones
of.
her kind of sort of, but then her boyfriend that was in there is back now, but he's changed. Like, is that what the like? I don't know what the fuck. It's almost he's just kind of like, well, I'm just gonna leave it, write it, and be fucking weird. It's like, man, you could have just kept it linear like that, and it would have been like, oh, it's we found like a spore or something, whatever. Like it could have ended so many ways, and they just fucked it all up at the end. For me, anyways, that's my personal opinion. I was just like, because I was so into it. I'm like, this is trippy. It's freaky. Like, how the fuck are they gonna get out of here? Like those scarecrow-looking things with the flowers growing on them too. Like they're trying to take shapes of people and stuff. I'm like, man, it's the most beautifully crafted movie I've seen in a long time. And the story just, I don't know, man. It's just like, what the fuck? And it just took all the steam right out of it. Because I was like, oh, this is like at an 8 right now, 8, maybe 9 even. And then it's just like, I'm down to 3. You lost me.
Yep.
Not cool, man. Yeah, so
I think like another kind of TV show, kind of like that, even though it's still pretty good, is Lost. Like,
Oh yeah, it's
Lost, like like where it starts to where it ends is so fucking weird. Like,
yeah,
it's like you got like all this mysterious island stuff, and then they're constantly doing like flashbacks and that sort of thing.
right.
And then it's like eventually you get to like the 4th season, and then they like actually like travel back in time. Yeah.
Okay, I never made it that far. I got to like season 3. Is where I got to, and I'm like, man, this is just too much. Like, there's too many questions. Every episode is a new question, question. That's all they're doing. They're not answering anything. They're just
throwing
asking
more shit
more
at
questions.
you. Yeah.
Is what it is. And it's like, I can see the appeal to that because it is very intriguing, and it's just like, what could it be? But then I heard at the end, even it wasn't really. I don't really know how it happened, but everybody's just kind of like, yeah.
So like at the end, spoilers for Lost. If you haven't seen this
Spoiler
super old
alert.
show by now. I didn't even finish last season, but I kind of know what happens. So yeah, they started doing like, they always doing like flashbacks, and then eventually they were doing flash forwards where it was like, oh, they were off the island, and you kind of didn't know that at some point. I think that was like season 4. And then that season ends with like, we gotta go back, Kate, or whatever, because they were off the island. And then so like the next season, you're like figuring out like how the fuck they got off, kind of thing. Weird shit. I don't know.
That's so out of sync. Like, okay.
God damn it, JJ.
But the final, JJ was like hardly.
Was it? Oh, okay. At that point,
Okay.
Yeah.
He was like, I think just kind of like a producer on the thing. Like,
okay.
he would never. And besides like I think the directing the first episode, that was about it.
Right.
He was,
which was awesome.
Yeah. I don't think he was really involved with writing. Maybe oversaw it a little bit, but
Yeah.
So like the final season is they were doing Flash sideways. So essentially, it was an alternate universe where they were flashing back and forth between where some people who were dead on the island were actually alive at this point. Why? And then like, I don't know. I don't really remember that part. But then like, eventually like they would kind of like get their memories back from them and that sort of thing, and it was very weird.
Oh.
Very, very strange.
And just kind of derailed from there.
Yeah.
Just got...
And, like, didn't answer a lot of the questions of, like, who was the smoke monster. There was a Mr. Black and Mr. White or something like that. And it was just, like, a lot of these, like, real weird kind of things. And it was like, we can finish it, I guess, or something. It was just, like, maybe they were, like, hoping to get a movie. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, that was another one that a lot of people were just like, huh?
Right.
It's like I think it was kind of like the island was supposed to be purgatory or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I got from it in the 3rd season. I'm like, I think everybody's just dead, and they're just kind of like their spirits or whatever is stuck on this island, and maybe there's some kind of device that keeps them trapped there for I'm like, I think that's kind of, but I don't care, and I just stopped watching.
Yeah.
That's just kind of meh. Like the first 3 seasons were great though. Like up to that, I'm like, man, this is like some wild shit going on. It's weird. Like all these guys, these personal endeavors, and the guy with the bomb, like he's running on the treadmill all the time and has to do all this stuff. And I thought that was kind of cool. The guy that's like, hey brother, whatever, that guy. I can't remember what the fuck his name was, but he was the one that was kind of watching the bomb, and then
Desmond,
and then the bald guy
in the hatch or whatever.
Yep, in the hatch. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. I was like, this
punched in the code.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think that's what causes them to go back in time. I think.
Oh God, that's.
Oh really?
It's been a while since I watched it because at some point they go because they have like It was called the Dharma Initiative. So there's all these like different bases across there, and they go to one place that was supposed to be like recording a social experiment kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, we have this one team that's doing a task that actually doesn't really do anything. They have to keep doing it over and over and over because we said it's like really, really important. So they like think, oh, it's the typing in the code. Right. Otherwise, some bad shit's gonna happen because they don't know what happens if you don't type in the code.
Right.
So they find like this thing. It's like, so they go back there and it's like, okay, we're not typing the code anymore because obviously this is the stupid social experiment.
Right.
And then they don't type in the code and shit starts going like real bad. It just like starts rumbling and it's like,
yeah.
And I think that causes them to go back in time. I don't know. I'm probably wrong.
Okay.
But
I mean,
it goes
whatever.
some weird places. Lost does.
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
What about you, Eric?
Me, the TV shows, also the movies they made. The X-Files is one of those series where I was like, oh, how it ended, especially the series finale. It was like, that's how it was going with that. And
that's
then
weird that I didn't think of that because that's one of my favorite shows, and I agree with you completely.
Yeah, it's
where Mulder wasn't even in the last two seasons.
Last 2 seasons, they got rid of him, and David Duchovny was out of it. And then they finally brought him back for those movies. The movies come out, you think, oh, it's more paranormal, more related stuff. And the first one, I forget what it was called. It was. The main thing was about a whole like a Frankenstein style of guy was like.
That was after season 9.
That was after.
The first movie was the one where it was in between like 6 and 7.
Yeah, that was kind of with the lore, which was alright, but
they found the ship and the ship takes off. And,
this is after the series is done, so you're hoping to get more answers before the new season came out. So you're thinking, oh, they're finally making a movie. You're gonna see them again and finally get more secrets as well. No, it's about some Frankenstein doctor just doing some stuff, body experiments.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like
Tchaikovsky's dog or whatever it was, experiment to try and basically do a surgery on a guy to move his head onto a different body and trying to like do like genetic stuff. Whatever. Which is all the old people cut back together. Yeah. Had a star-studded cast, but they just fucked it up so bad. Like Chris Carter, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So,
stop it.
That was I remember watching that with our roommate at the time. And we're like, what the fuck is this? Like we did not want to see this, and right. And it was horseshit with that. And then the new season finally came out too. I never got to finish it, so. The newest ones that came out.
Yeah, the little mini-series events that they had. I never watched it.
I started watching it. I was like where it was going. The middle filler ones were all right, but that overarching conspiracy plot, I never got to finish and follow because kind of lost interest with that one. But I remember the movie still to this day stings with me. Like, how could they go there when it should have been something else totally different?
Dude, you left everything so wide open. Yeah. Even after the final episode. Like, the final episode, there was like a big helicopter fighting scene, and then like the Smoky Man was like up in the mountain.
Yep.
Doing some weird ritual with the fire pit and stuff, and it's like, and it ended up being like about all they were doing was trying to create super soldiers. Like, what an overused trope! Like, stop, man! You got all this amazing potential for this to be something, like super wild, but all it was the whole time was like they're trying to create some kind of serum to make super soldiers. Yep. That's all it was, and that's it. Yeah, using a little bit of alien technology to create super soldiers. That's it. Like, so come on,
alien exists. They never see him again. It's used them to make these super beings. Like, oh, come on.
Exactly. It's so dumb.
So that was one of those that still regrets me to this day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I figured that would have been on your list. Actually.
I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that show. And yeah, I agree completely. They just clapped it at the end.
Yep.
For sure. And yeah, obviously Game of Thrones. That's the one I have on here. One of the first ones that actually did that to me was when my parents were obsessed with it too, and all of us were like, was Seinfeld. How that ended. Yeah. They all just go to prison.
Yeah. I mean,
what? Yeah.
The bad people get their justice in the end, which is a good thing, but it's how they frame it and how they show it. It's like
they just rushed it really, really quickly, and just like, all these people are pressing charges against you guys for all the things that you did. They all just kind of banded together, like all these old characters. So it was kind of like just
one-off characters.
And like
they weren't pressing charges; they were just character witnesses.
Or whatever. Right.
Yeah. But still,
no,
it's like
they suck.
Yeah.
See, I couldn't.
These guys are
exactly
monsters and deserve justice. But how it was shown to us, like, well, this is little shit. Like,
it's just kind of
like
Oh, even when George Costanza's wife died too, and there was like no emotional reaction to it too. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I love that. That's hilarious to me. Because, like, we didn't... Well, the whole point, like, before that was, like, you didn't want to get married to her or whatever. Didn't love her.
Right.
Actually. And
he's like, such a scumbag.
They're all shitters.
They are. Especially George Costanza.
George's the worst.
Scumbag.
Yeah.
I guess I could kind of see how it's kind of funny. My mom was just like, I can't believe... They just didn't care. Whatever. I'm just like... Yeah. Douchebags, man.
Yeah, another another sitcom that had like real terrible finale was How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yes.
You had like 8 seasons of like him like talking about how he gonna eventually meet his mother, and it ends on like the final episode. Spoilers, I guess. And so the very final episode is like, okay, finally meets her, and it just starts like going real quick. It's like, and then we got married, we had the 2 kids, blah blah blah, and then we didn't get married right away or whatever, and then eventually they got married after they had kids.
Right.
And then it was like, and then she got sick and she ended up dying.
Yep.
And then like, it ends like it ends with like, so yeah, can I actually
Go and date
your Aunt Robin? Is it okay if I ask her out? It was kind of like
the whole
like
point of those
setting it up.
series was to set up the fact that you can ask his kids permission to go date Robin, his friend Robin.
Yep.
The whole point of that show was like, are you fucking serious?
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how? Yeah. So remember the ending with that blue horn and the down below in the window. I'm like, that fucking thing. I'm like, that's just a worst ending in the world. Like,
And like,
yeah.
it totally like,
yeah.
you think of like, you know, all these sitcoms like Friends and that sort of thing, that's like Office even, like that, it's had like super long lifespans even after they're off the air. It's like, How I Met Your Mother should have been one of those shows, but they'll like that finale like straight up just like killed all hype for that show, because like you go back and watch any of those episodes, they're fucking
still
funny.
great.
Yeah.
1 through 5 is still my
sure.
favorites by far. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love those
Carly's
series.
obsessed with it. Yeah, she
Yeah.
said the
But, like-
season finale, she was kind of like, it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
like-
the season before, it ended with just her, with him meeting her at the train station. That could have ended there.
Yep.
The whole last season was just shouldn't exist at all. Like it was, this could have been
Really?
just Ted
man.
meeting. I forget the mom's name, but just Ted meeting her at the station after I forget what wedding it is. I think it's Barney's wedding or whatever the scene is. No, whatever the scene is, I forget at the train station. And then she's they meet. She gets her names, and that's it. Like that'd been perfect.
Yeah.
That'd been fine. But no, it's.
Or just like have a happy, like I don't know why they're so afraid, or I don't know, like they wanted to do a swerve ending or something.
Oh yeah,
Because like the other part was Barney marries
Robin. Yeah,
which everybody was like
cool.
was on board with that, and then like the final episode, like, oh no, they ended up
Like
divorcing or whatever.
Yeah, a few years
Cause,
later they divorced.
Yeah.
and I was like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like
Barney
that
finally-
was the whole
yeah.
last season was like, or maybe like last 2 seasons
Yeah,
where it was their relationship and
Right. Yeah.
You finally see Barney become this like actual 3-dimensional person who is somewhat likable, not just this fucking perv dog. And
Right.
oh yeah, no, he's finally settling down, getting married. Good for him. Oh no, they're divorced now. It's like what a hand pass bullshit. Yeah.
it's like just give the people what they want. They want a happy ending. Just do it.
Right.
That's how you.
Yeah, sometimes you have to. Yeah.
Same with Game of Thrones.
That's the thing.
Same with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Just you don't need to swerve people. It's
Nope.
fine.
Yeah.
If the ending is people see it coming a mile away, it's like, well,
Yeah.
maybe that's what the ending should be.
Yeah.
You know, like
Right.
That was the whole. That's the whole thing. I
Yeah.
think with Game of Thrones too is because the whole way the first season ends, everyone didn't see how it was happened, so everyone was expecting the twist to come off from every which way, right? So there was always channels and people saying theories of what's going to happen next, and some were right and some were wrong. But the fact, I think that writers got offended at that because now that people know how it's going to end, we have to really throw them for a curveball because they'll never see it coming. Well, that's not the point. If it's an obvious ending that's going to be entertaining, what's wrong with that?
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're enjoying the show enough too, like somebody like me, I'm not gonna try and guess how it's gonna end. I just want to see how it ends
Same.
and be like,
Yeah.
I'm on board with whatever you guys decide, but not actually what you actually did decide with, because I was just kind of like, this is not.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Don't get
wasn't
me wrong, the budget, the effects, everything was great, you know, but
Yeah.
what a fucking dumb ending.
Yeah.
I mean, like swerves happen all the time in
for sure.
wrestling, and like sometimes it is like, okay, you fucked up, Vince McMahon. You should have picked that guy.
Yeah.
You swerved when you didn't have to swerve. But at least like with that, it's like it's still ongoing. There's gonna be like a new something like
Yeah.
next week.
You can always fix it.
There'll be a different storyline that you'll maybe get on board with.
Yeah,
But like swerving somebody on your series finale,
Yeah.
it's
one
like,
of the highly
like-
critically acclaimed
Yeah.
shows probably
talk,
ever,
the talk of the world
right?
at the time.
Yeah,
and
the
you
most
just
watched.
Fucking woo!
Yeah, and take the best character probably ever possibly written in the history of characters. No, I'm just kidding.
all right.
And you turn her into just another
Another villain for no reason.
villain.
Yep.
Just give her a 180. She does all this great things. She goes to the north. She fights the
Yep. Dragon
White
Gr-
Walkers,
yeah.
brings the dragons, risks, the trust with Cersei, the ceasefire and all that stuff to go and help, and yeah.
Dragon Girl bad now.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what it was. It's pivot.
Yeah.
After all the people that you've seen die,
Yeah.
that one's the one that triggers you, really.
Yeah.
Really?
I know
But-
the big long night fight, the long winter night. You think it's going to be this epic scene? It's in dark. You don't see it.
You can't see anything.
Fuck.
Okay. I don't know. A lot of people shit on it. I liked it. Yeah, it was a little tough to see. But like you watch it now and it's a little bit better. I think
You
they
watched it
fixed
on Blu-ray, right? Though.
No, I watched it on PlayStation. I downloaded it.
Okay, but still.
Still, it's like high definition. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you watched it while streaming, it was
shit.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it
so
was the
much-
talk
it
of
was like
Facebook.
Yeah.
It was
just artifacting and
terrible.
Yeah.
you couldn't see anything.
But I watched it and I'm like, man, this is incredible. Like it's terrifying. Like not being able to see, like when they're all riding into the dark with the flames and the music's going. Like how is that not epic?
Oh, it could
And all
be
of a sudden it's like, and it just
suspenseful,
goes black.
But
And there's
then
like 5 or 6 guys come back and that's
Yeah,
it.
but then they're all back again next episode. The Thraki aren't gone. There's a whole army again.
Yeah.
A few episodes later.
Like they lost no people.
Nobody, yep.
At all.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And how'd they get back to King's Landing so fast?
So
Like,
fast, yeah.
What's happening?
yeah, fast travel.
Distance means nothing. That's the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well.
then cut away to see someone on their deathbed or about to be stabbed. Cut away to the next person. Same thing. Oh, they're fine. Next scene. It's like, well, what the hell happened? Like they were about to get stabbed a second ago. How come like you see who's the fat guy? The one
Sam.
with Sam. Yeah, Sam. About to get stabbed and piled on by these White Walkers. He's still fine. It's like he had a knife to his throat pretty much in that one scene. They cut away.
I forgot about it.
What the hell? Like and he's fine.
There's
Yeah.
literally no time.
Yeah.
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 You have all the time in the world, the biggest budget, no time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, people would have waited. We would have waited.
We did. Yeah.
And we did wait.
Yeah.
We waited a long time. Not for that, though.
We're hurt. We're hurt. Yeah.
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 But yeah, when I was originally thinking the question, like I said, like things that just kind of lost steam. I was thinking of like video games,
Yeah.
and like one of them is definitely kind of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Really?
That was going to be one of mine, too. Yeah.
Was
It was.
The story
once it
one?
gets to that island thing, it's
I
like
stopped playing.
it's like oh man, like you cut that part out, and I think that's like a 10 out of 10 game. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
I
Guaranteed.
mean, even the last little bit, like after that. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be too bad because like after you get back from the island, there's still like a decent amount of stuff that you have to do that you're just like,
Jesus.
when is this game over? Like,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I don't know. And other ones are like the most recent kind of like Assassin's Creed games, and maybe just kind of Ubisoft games in general,
Yeah.
where it's just like you play the last Assassin's Creed game that I played was Odyssey, the one in ancient Greece.
Yeah.
Really cool. Like going around ancient Greece, it looks like tremendous. They have like really great
Awesome
graphics
graphics. What I
and-
saw you playing is beautifully.
Yeah, and the game's fun and that sort of thing, but it's just like, man, you zoom out and it's like, we made this giant ass map and we put like 1 billion icons on it for you, everything to go visit and blah blah blah, and it's just like I'm kind of a completionist when I'm doing this stuff because like I want to get the most out of it. So, but like
Right.
eventually it's just like, man, I'm 40 hours into this game. I'm like, I've already reached max level because I've been doing everything, and like I still need to go do story stuff. And I was just like, I just can't anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just too much crap, and it's just like
Yeah.
I think they just need to like go back to maybe the old Assassin's Creed games, Assassin's Creed 2,
A
and
little
that
more
sort of thing.
linear, maybe.
Yeah, it's like instead of like, I mean, they had like an open world, but it wasn't like a huge map. It was just like like a pretty big map,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like you're exploring the city of Rome, not the whole entire like country of Italy kind
Right.
of thing.
Where you deviate from the main story and you go do a couple little things, like just quickly a couple of things.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man did the same thing. Like you have a couple things you can go do on the side, but you're not going to lose track of the main quest and lose that
Exactly.
that fire.
like,
that's driving
it's like-
the story.
You know, make a really good 20-hour game. You don't have to make
Yes.
like a full 80-hour game. Like if you want to do everything, it's like just make a 20-hour game that's good. You know, like
Yeah.
I'd rather be at the end of it going, I want more of this, and like maybe get DLC later or something like that instead of not finishing it. It's like, oh man,
Instead of just like, here's the whole buffet.
yeah,
Go.
exactly. So
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. What was one of the games that I was thinking of? Gotta go back to it. Oh, yeah, the one that kind of lost Okay, so Metal Gear has always been one of the best games I ever played, best storyline, but Phantom Pain ended, and I didn't even know it ended because I kept playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I did this mission already. I'm like, that's weird. I'm going to go do it again. Oh, it's the same, but kind of different this time. But I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this again? Like, that's weird. And then you do it again and again. I'm like, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, what the fuck? Did they not finish this game? Like, what the fuck happened? But if you keep playing it and you redo the missions over again, in the end, there is a cutscene that unlocks, and you're not even playing as Snake. You're playing as a soldier that survived the hotel or the hospital thing at the very beginning of the game. Like, and Snake was the one that was like helping you get out, which I do kind of remember because that was Kiefer Sutherland's voice that was talking. I'm like, oh, that's weird that I'm hearing it from this guy.
Right.
Like, that's kind of weird, right? And but like, don't get me wrong, the whole up to when you take down that Metal Gear at the end, all the way up to that point was flawless. It was incredible. And it's like, okay, cool. And what's next? Am I going back to Africa? Like, what am I gonna do now? And it's like, oh, okay, keep adding stuff to the base. Research this. Let's go nuclear. Let's do this. And multiplayer stuff. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the multiplayer. I want to keep going on with the story. Like, this is weird. And it's like, well, what's happening? How come I can't, how come I'm doing the same missions now? Because it restarts the whole game pretty much. With all your stuff unlocked, obviously. But, and then, yeah, it's just like, and then your guy, like, looks in the mirror and it kind of fades out to, like, the face that you customize at the very beginning is what Snake sees when he looks in the mirror. And that's who you are. You're the initial soldier that was in there. And it's like the whole time you were masquerading as Big Boss. And it's like, but why? Why? Hideo, you bastard. Why would you do this? That's a dumb swerve.
Right.
Hideo, that's a Hideo move all over there. Yeah.
Ugh.
It's just...
his last fuck you to Konami.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, isn't it just to explain, like, why in, like, those MSX games, like, don't you kill Big Boss in
You have
that?
to, yeah.
So, like, isn't it to explain, like, that's why he dies and he comes back in the fourth one? Is because you actually didn't kill Big Boss, you killed this other guy? That's what I thought.
Maybe. It could be. I never
played those, no.
Yeah, like the Game Boy versions, a lot of stuff like that story. I don't know that lore.
Yeah.
I don't know it too well. So, yeah, it was just...
Outer Heaven? Whatever.
Outer Heaven, yeah.
Yeah.
That I wish they would remake. That'd be cool.
I think they were supposed to.
Probably.
Oh, probably, yeah. No. I'm surprised.
some point.
Konami still has a license to it. I'll see why not, but this is Kojima's that whole debacle there with that. You never freaking know.
They did a Metal Gear game without him.
Yes, it was terrible.
They did. Oh my god.
Metal Gear Survive.
Considered one of the worst
Poking zombies
survival
with a
games.
stick.
Yeah, that's all you get.
Yeah.
Is a stick, pretty much, and build fences to slow them
That
down.
to me was a big fuck you to Hideo, if anything else. It's like, yeah, we got this now. Fuck
Like,
you,
where
boy.
did they even think that that'd be a good idea? Like, that's just
Trend. That was a board meeting trend pitch. Like, what's popular? Make that. Exactly what it was.
They got the engine. They put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
Might as well maybe get a little bit more out of there.
What else? I'm trying to think of one game that I can't think of one right now. I have more TV shows lined up in my head. I know one common trope I'm getting sick of seeing. A lot of times it's in animated shows too. I was a big fan of Young Justice. That came out. I think you might have watched it too. Have you seen that at all? Yeah.
no.
No.
I've seen an episode. Or two.
Before the third season and fourth season were ever announced, it ended on the second season. And like typical of those shows, when it has like those we're canceling kind of finales.
Yeah.
They usually kill a character off, and to me that's one of those like this out of nowhere for no reason. He's dead now. It's like that's to me like for that in that final fight they're fighting. Kid Flash is helping them save, and just because of course Flash has to be the one to save the day, he has to go faster than normal to bring somebody back or do something. I forget what it is, but he comes back, and then by going so fast he ends up dying to the Speed Force, some bullshit like that for no real reason. Just the fact that someone has to die. In those dramatic endings, it's like, well, why though? There's no need for that. And I'm always tired of seeing that. And then the Green Lantern series, same thing. Character dies for no reason. That one, and then any animated series, pretty much now. It's the Justice League finale, same thing. Yeah, it's all that kind of bullshit like that. Easy out, I find that.
Yeah. Just write a happy ending.
Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't hurt.
Doesn't
once in a while.
have to be happy. Just
You
one
can go
that's
back to that.
yeah, one that's just coherent and decent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Satisfying.
Yeah.
Something that's satisfying. Doesn't have to be a good ending. Just a satisfying ending. Not something that's gonna deliberately piss people off.
Sequels are bad for that.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like how people reacted to The Village by M. Night Shyamalan.
That twist.
Ah, what a twist! Yeah, she gets out and she was on a
It's a
preserve thing where they're
preservation the
keeping
whole
these
time.
people and
Social experiment the whole
Yeah.
time, yeah.
the whole entire time. Yep.
The twist.
Then
Here's
the monsters
Amish.
that come at night to make sure that they don't go out into the woods and leave was just orchestrated.
Have you guys seen Lady in the Lake or Lady in the Water, whatever it was?
No.
Yeah, same. It's like, this looks weird. I seen a review, social critic review on it, and that's how I watched it. I'm like, yeah, this is a dumb movie.
Right.
This makes no goddamn sense at all. It's,
Right.
yeah.
That's with Paul Giamatti, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would watch it for him, but he's taken some strange.
Oh, have you guys seen Billions? I love him in Billions.
Oh, he's an awesome actor.
Amazing
I will
actor,
not
yeah.
say anything different.
Yeah.
He's an incredible actor.
Yeah. That cast
Some of the
alone, that
movies-
show is fantastic.
Yeah, Billions is
Yeah.
supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
Kind of like Suits. Is that Suits?
Yeah,
that one?
I never seen that one yet. Same idea.
That's
yeah,
another
it's
great
a kind of
show.
corporate backstabbing espionage. kind of stuff.
Episodic.
Yeah.
Kind of, it's like, oh, I don't usually watch those shows, and then I was watching. I'm like, this is really.
I forget the other actor's name. He's in Homeland. He's in that one as Bobby Axelrod. I forget the big tall ginger guy. I forget.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's phenomenal in that. He's
phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he's great to watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
a two-faced snake and just this corporate billionaire is awesome.
yeah.
Another one, like another nostalgia critic thing that I watched, that like similar thing that I was like, what the fuck is that ending?
Yeah.
Was watching Sucker Punch.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because I never watched Sucker Punch.
I didn't mind that ending though.
Where she gets lobotomized?
Yeah, it's a sacrifice for the other. Yeah,
No.
Yeah. I didn't mind that.
And she gets raped.
Yeah,
But it's
it
okay.
goes dark.
But it's okay. She like looks at him funny. Got him back.
Yeah, yeah,
Good old Schneider.
yeah. Trying to copy Shutter Island.
Just
Oh, that guy got a lobotomy. Let's just have her get raped too. That'll make it a better movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got samurai swords.
Samurai swords
They got
on
anime
a
fight scenes.
floating train with a World War II plane
Zombies.
and dragons.
Yeah. It goes places.
Whatever. Yeah. Like the prison stuff when she's like coherent was kind of interesting. That wasn't bad. Just stick to the. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell
All I
you.
was saying, after I watched that video, I was like, I'm glad I never
Was it
watched
based on
that
a
movie.
graphic novel?
I think
I
so.
think it was, yeah.
I don't know. I
thought
I
it
feel
wa-
like he came up with that all himself. That's
I
why
thought
it was kind
based
of.
on something, yeah. I could have sworn it was based on a graphic
I
novel.
think
That's
it
why
He's like,
that's why
"I
there's
had
so
fun."
many like weird scenes like that because
Right.
it only makes sense in a comic book.
Right, because he had so
Yeah.
much fun making 300. He's like, I want to do another one
Yeah.
like 300, where I make little comic strips.
Yeah.
And so I'll make one myself with just whatever I want it to be. And
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I'll just make it seem like it's all in her
Just
head.
like
'cause
he just loves Frank Miller, like anything.
Yeah.
that
That's
she
true, yeah.
does.
yeah.
It's like I want to do 300, and now I want to do Watchmen, and I want to do.
Yeah.
Did you do the Spirit?
No.
No, he
Frank
didn't.
Miller actually
Frank
did
Miller
most
did
of it himself.
Okay, good, yeah.
And
That one was like ugh.
not that good. No, it was not.
That was weird.
Sin City, however,
Yeah.
Yeah,
top notch. Have
Yeah.
you seen Sin
Since
City?
that is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It's
Even the
weird.
second
It's
one wasn't
weird,
bad.
but
I like the second
That
one.
wasn't
I
bad.
had the second one. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I'm confused by some of the timeline stuff in the second one, but yeah.
Yeah, it kind of bounces around. I just love
Yeah.
Marv. Marv's
Yeah.
my favorite character. Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
There you go.
Well, that's gonna do it, I think, for this podcast. We're a little over time. Thanks so much for listening and watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe here on YouTube, and 5 stars, thumbs up on all the podcast services. Head over to our Facebook page, like us there, and we'll be back here tomorrow with another topic brought to you by Eric. Eric, what's it about?
Vehicles, cars, trucks.
Rum rum baby.
Zoom zoom. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you then. Have a good night.
See you guys.
See ya.